where every first and third Thursday, usually, we're in here talking about crime prevention,
Today's a
community
special
outreach.
date and time.
Today is a very
I
special
liked how
time.
when you listened to the song, you were like, boom, drop the beat.
Yeah, as soon as that beat drops, that's when you know it's time to talk.
I mean, that really
law enforcement.
pumps you up.
It does. Brings me back. Watched a lot of cops growing up.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So, we're here on the Neighborhood Watch today.
Here we are. We have a special guest.
We do.
Well, two, really, but, I don't really count you because welcome Matt's getting a little thin after almost a year, Deputy Josh Dubin, I'm not going to lie to you. But here on your Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds, every first and third Thursday, usually, we come in here and talk about outreach with the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station, but we have two special times. We have today's show, and we're doing another one later this month, just because it's special.
That's right. So we wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Exactly, and we got some stuff to let people know about.
We want to keep Kyle on his toes.
Absolutely. Moment of silence for
Moment
Mark Perfect Harabina.
Yeah, where is Perfect Hair today?
Wow.
Oh.
There we go. That's tragic.
Wow. Wow.
And instead we have Kyle, whose hair is not perfect, but he does a great job. He's all about heart and effort. And that's what we reward here at KHTS, your hometown station. So anyways, so much to talk about. Nixle reports, community crime updates, what people can know to not be a victim. In case they are a victim, we have resources we want to talk about, right, for suicide prevention and domestic violence, two things we want to talk about. We have, again, talk about our very special guest, your coworker, Deputy Brian Heischuber.
And you even pronounced his name right?
I did.
Outstanding.
I was practicing for several hours. Thank you, Brian.
Very good. Very good.
So, and Deputy Heischuber, you work in the crime prevention unit with Deputy Josh Dubin, and you work in the Valencia. That's your zone area of responsibility?
That is correct.
All right. Talk a little bit about that, what's going on in Valencia crime trends. But first, we had a Nixle report. Breaking news.
Wait a minute.
That's my breaking news noise.
Stand by 1 second, please. Kyle, what was that? Yeah, you're speechless.
He's shaking his head.
Was that supposed to be like the wire?
That's my sound effects.
Or like
you know what?
Teletype?
Yeah, if it was Mark or Bina behind the boards, I feel like we would have had a sound effect ready. But I just, with Kyle in the studio, I got to do my own.
He's still speechless.
He's still shaking his head.
Well, if you're just tuning into the Neighborhood Watch for the first time, you can expect some sound effects.
High quality post production work.
Mr. Perry Smith.
Thank you. Do we want to talk about the Knicks, or do you just want to make fun of my sound effects?
Well, I was going to ask you, did you go away this past weekend?
Maybe I did. Maybe I was in Morro Bay.
How was that?
Seals. It was beautiful. It was lovely. It was a good 25 degrees cooler than it was here in the Santa Clarita Valley.
That's what I was just going to get at. It has been extremely hot lately.
What does that do? Does that increase? Do you see more activity when it gets hot out, or are people more on the streets? Are you guys?
Well, we see more calls for service that we go to along with the LA County Fire Department. Yesterday we had a vehicle fire. Obviously, cars are running a lot higher. People are having more medical emergencies. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes our deputies will be the first on scene or respond with the fire department.
And, pets in the car.
Pets in the car, younger people left in the car.
Yeah.
All things to be concerned about, especially when it's hot.
But speaking, no, I don't have no segue for this.
You have no segue.
So I was going to try that, but no.
We're done talking about hot weather.
It was hot.
And it's going to be hot today.
It's going to be hot, yeah. It's going to be like triple digits for the next week. Your weather report and crime prevention outreach here on the Neighborhood Watch.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's talk about this Nixle report from last night.
You put it out. It was about 9:21 p.m. it says. Shall I just read it, or you want to give me the rundown? What's the...
Oh, you go ahead and start, and I'll chime in.
My radio voice?
Yeah, use your radio voice, and I'll chime in.
On Saturday, September 6th...
Oh, you're going to read it verbatim.
At approximately 9:30 p.m. Nobody knows that. Everybody could have just thought that I was taking credit for your wonderful
Okay, go ahead. Read it verbatim.
Man on a bicycle in the 18,900 block Canyon Country, 18,900 block of Soledad Canyon Road, which is in Canyon Country. Man rode from a dark alley as the deputies... No, into a dark alley?
No,
as the man rode from a dark alley, the deputies attempted to detain him, so he just appeared out of the dark alley.
Right. The backstory to this was...
anytime that happens as a deputy, you're like, well, he just disappeared out of a dark alley.
Well, and Deputy Heischuber can talk about this a little bit more. We've been focusing some of our efforts and some of our special assignment team and the community impact team, different things like that, on areas that have seen recent crime trends. And so we were focusing on this area. We had some deputies in an undercover capacity. We had some deputies in, obviously, black and white patrol vehicles, just doing some suppression, high visibility patrols. what you're pointing at me.
So this gentleman rode out of the dark alley and into a coverage area, like an operation type of situation.
Right.
Oh.
It was an area that we were saturating and that we were working, doing some crime prevention stuff over there. So deputies attempt to contact this individual after seeing him. He flees. Is that the proper tense? Flees?
Yep.
Fled.
Yeah, fled, flees.
Flees. Flees are something
We're
that
not,
a dog
we're not
has.
the grammar police here.
That's right.
We're the community police.
Right.
There we go.
So he fled. He ditched the bike, ditched a backpack that he was on, ran on foot. Ultimately, deputies caught up with him, detained him, and some illegal items on him. So he's placed under arrest after an investigation. And now we're trying to figure out who this bicycle belongs to. He ditched a bicycle. It's allegedly a stolen bicycle, but we're trying to figure out exactly who the victim is. And so
To that end, you put out pictures of
I
the
did.
bike.
I took 4 stellar pictures yesterday.
And we got numbers that people can call if they've seen the bike or no.
No, we
If
have
they-
the bike.
Yeah, you guys have the bike.
Right.
If they recognize the bike, they know the owner or they are the owner, then they should call the sheriff's station. 255-1121. I guess the anonymous numbers aren't really an issue.
Right,
Because
1-800-222-TIPS.
But if you did, unrelated note, if you want to report a crime anonymously, 1-800-222-TIPS. You're giving me that look. We got to take a break. Kyle signaling. We'll be back on the Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley, here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. And the Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds, with Deputy Josh Dubin and Deputy Brian Heiseber, both of them from the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station Crime Prevention Unit. We'd like to talk about outreach, but since we have Brian in the studio, I want to put you on the hot seats, ask you some questions, get to know your local zone leader.
This is the fun part of the...
This is the fun part. This is the part where we outreach. Then we transition to the more serious stuff, right?
Right.
So, Brian, tell
Was that a
me,
rhetorical question? You were like, right? Right. Go ahead. I feel like I just want to...
troubles of having a co-host. This is why more people do it alone, right? Is this right, Kyle? Is this why?
I could name plenty of
Shaking
great
his head.
radio
He feels me,
duos.
though. Yeah,
But I
anyways. All right. Jesse and the Jelly Man, naturally.
Well,
But, so, Sheriff's Department, Deputy Eisenberg,
was that a, wait a minute.
Super.
Was that a pop culture reference?
That was a pulp culture reference. Can we get back to
I feel like
Deputy
we're all
Heisenberg
over the
and
road
his-
today for this Tuesday
guys-
episode of the Neighborhood
Oh,
Watch.
boy. You need a checkpoint? Is that what you're saying? Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know. All right. So, talk to me, Brian. When did you join the sheriff's department?
I'll be coming up on 10 years this year.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years with the Sheriff's Department.
So, what was your first assignment?
First
coming out of the
assignment was in
academy?
Twin Towers Correctional Facility in downtown LA.
That's where, for people who don't know what Twin Towers is, that's where a lot of the more like serious offenses, right? Those people, and it's like a longer term type of situation.
You know, there's a lot of different variations at that facility. I dealt with the inmates that had a lot of mental problems, that dealt with mental capacity, were on psych meds, people that were deemed basically by the county as insane.
Okay, and then like mentally unfit for trial.
Correct,
They were-
correct. That's right.
And so, how long were you there for in Twin Towers?
I was there for approximately 4 years.
Okay. And then you went out into a patrol station.
Correct. I went to Palmdale Sheriff Station, just like Deputy Dubin.
Oh, okay.
We both worked Palmdale together for a while. I worked there.
Really?
Yes.
Your
You
face
two
lights up.
the
Your
beat.
face lights up.
Well,
Great.
we'll talk off air about some, maybe stuff you have on Dubin that we
Sure.
can talk, that I can use personally.
Absolutely.
But talk to me.
So I went from Palmdale. Deputy
how long?
Dubin went to Santa Clarita.
How long were you in Palmdale for?
I was almost, I think, 4 years, 3 or 4 years, about 3 years. And then Deputy Dubin was down in Santa Clarita, said he liked it, great place to work. So I decided to transfer to Santa Clarita approximately, I think it's coming up on 3 years for me now I've been there.
So you're not originally a Santa Clarita Valley resident.
That-
You're an import.
Yes.
Where did you grow up?
In the San Fernando Valley.
Oh boy, it's almost time for the hot seat.
This is where it gets really good? This is double jeopardy?
First of all, it's always getting really good. All right, it's been good. Deputy Dubin.
I can see the excitement on Kyle's face.
How dare you? He's
Riveting.
fucking, He's playing Angry Birds. All right, leave him alone. He's missing
Candy Crush.
Margarina. All right. So, first of all, what inspired you to join the sheriff's department?
I always knew I wanted to be a police officer. I joined the military. I was in the Air Force as a security police officer. I served with the Air Force full-time for 6 years, and I did 12 years additional as a active Guard Reserve. And then I joined the sheriff's department. It just kind of fell together for me, and the sheriff's department, I think, is a great agency with a lot of different various opportunities, so that's what I chose.
6 years active, 12 years reserve, 10 years in the station. You look like a dude in your 20s. Deputy Heisberg, how old are you?
36.
Oh, wow.
36.
All right.
Yeah, 36.
We'll have to tweet a picture.
Yes. Now we have to.
Now we'll have to tweet a
or
picture.
Get people at that Facebook page. Who's
Right.
Deputy Heisberg? Clicking. So what is your actual hometown where you were born, raised?
San Fernando Valley.
Oh, okay, just San Fernando. We're not going to say Chatsworth. Kenosha Park.
Actually, yeah,
Just
Chatsworth. Yep, Chatsworth.
Okay. Everybody comes from Chatsworth. Everybody
Yes.
knows that. First job you ever had?
First job I ever had. I actually worked at a ranch. I delivered
Up in Topanga Canyon, or
up in
there's not a lot of ranches in the San Fernando Valley. I grew up out there. I'm just curious.
I basically fed the horses, cleaned up the manure.
So then that was out by Crescenta Valley, or where were you?
Actually, that was out here in Santa Clarita.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you had a little bit of experience here.
A little bit of experience.
First job as a ranch hand. Reason you became a deputy?
Didn't we already ask
Kind
that
of
question?
inspiration for the force. All right. Well,
My father was a reserve deputy, and I
See.
saw him
Boom.
do it for numerous
Boom.
years. And he always talked highly about the sheriff's department, and it just felt like that was the right fit for me.
So where was he? A sheriff's reserve?
He's been a sheriff's reserve at our station, Santa Clarita.
Oh, no kidding.
For I think over 16 years now.
And speaking of which, if people want to join the sheriff's reserve program, they can.
Right.
You're still looking for
Right.
volunteers, right?
Absolutely.
For the station, always.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to be putting some stuff on our Facebook and Twitter. I do that periodically.
Right.
But it's always good, to keep the interest up. It's a great program. We're really thankful to those people. They make $1 a year.
Right.
They go through an academy.
Slightly
bunch of
more
training.
than a radio show host.
Slightly more than
Or a news, or
Terry
KHTS
Smith.
AM 1220 news director. It's competitive. I've looked at the reserve. You guys have nice bennies, but we'll see.
I hope your boss comes down the hallway right now.
Our executive producer, Jerry Cerati Goldman, is listening. I know that because she just reminded us about the bike incident, which we wanted to mention, is that it brings up serial numbers.
Absolutely.
If people do have a stolen, or if you have a high value item, you want to record the serial numbers on there, just like we talked about on our last show, because you can report it to the deputies and it goes into a system. So if that property gets stolen,
Can be
you guys
traced.
can track it down. You know who it goes to, and you get it back to the person. Back to the hot seat. Nice try, Deputy Heisenberg, trying to get off the hot seat early. Favorite meal while you're on the job?
I would have to say Baja Fresh.
All right, Baja Fresh.
Baja Fresh. Steak burritos.
Nachos. Oh, okay.
Steak burrito.
Kyle, do we have to take a break right now, or can we get another minute? Can we go? Oh, he's giving me the wave. All right. Best part of the job aside from helping people, because most of the deputies that I talk to, they say helping people is their favorite part of the job. Makes sense. I'm sure that's rewarding, but
I would say
outside-
my favorite part of the job is taking somebody to jail that needs to go to jail, that needs to be taken off our streets, that have committed some serious crimes, that need to go to jail. That in itself is very fulfilling.
Nobody ever says rolling code 3 lights and sirens through a red light. I would imagine that would be for me.
No.
I guess it's
It's
dangerous.
extremely
I see that.
dangerous.
It's extremely dangerous.
I see that, but-
you know what?
maybe that's why it's so
the
appealing to me.
the novelty of that wears off so fast.
More-
They say more deputies die in traffic collisions than they do in shootings.
It's dangerous.
Deputy Heisenberg, just taking the fun right out of my sails and making it serious.
Sorry.
All right. Well, you're on the hot seat. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Got a couple more questions for you, so you're not
Sure.
getting off that easy, Brian.
All
We'll
right.
be right back on your hometown station, Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds, AM 1220 KHTS.